The system really isn't gonna like this one. Hey my dudes, how's it hanging? It's your boy ZNF1 here. So today I want to discuss with you guys Roe versus Wade, the overturn that happened across the country on a national scale, and where I stand or like feel on it. But before we go and get into this though, and drop, some good old truth bombs, cue intro. There are going to be a lot of people who will be mad for what I'm going to say, and some that think I really should have no right at all to speak on the topic simply because I'm a male. Now, generally, I would agree with that in most cases. However, there are like the cases of where it's fully consensual sex and two people, are doing the act. I feel like if it's consensual, men should at least have a little bit of say in it, or just at least be able to, be like, hey, these are the logical reasons why it would not be a good idea right now to do this. You feel me? Aside from that, generally, I'm going to say that it's the woman's right. And either way, even if it's consensual and you guys happen to accidentally, conceive a child or like get pregnant, that's at the end of the day, the male doesn't really have much say because they are not the one carrying the child. And you have to accept whatever the female decides, because if she decides that she wants to have that kid, it's not gonna matter what you fucking say, man. She's gonna have the fucking kid. It's just how it is. You have to accept it, that you're gonna have to be a father and you're gonna have to step up and fucking, do fucking work to prepare and take care of this child. That is the responsible thing to do, regardless of what's going on. You can't really control it. It doesn't matter. People might think, oh, I can totally control it. You have no control over it because it's not inside your body. In the cases of rape or like molestation, incest, etc., I feel like we really don't have any say in it, and I feel like that's pretty logical because there's a lot of trauma that goes into that, and having to carry that baby will add more trauma a lot of times. The only time we would be able to have any input is simply if we were asked for it. Aside from that, it is solely up to the woman. Her body, her choice. At the end of the day, I do think the choice ultimately is up to the woman, because she is going to be the one carrying the child, going through all the stress and everything else. Before we get more into this, however, I wanted to bring up this quick little point. Don't you find it funny how yet again this year we have another very intense and delicate topic or issue being pushed on mainstream media? It kind of seems like that's the majority of what they do nowadays. It's time to grab your torch and pitchforks. They're trying to control us again, ladies. All of them, and I mean all of them, are guilty. They're mad. They're mad that we decided that they can't kill our babies, our future generations. It's time to get mad and angry, you guys, because these women are the problem. That's the main message, pretty much, which does nothing good or make a solution so we can move forward as a society. All it does is push stereotypes and hate, which continues the cycle and continues this problem, and we never move forward on anything. We need a more level-headed approach to this problem and a compromise to benefit the better of society mindset, not it's us versus them. Now, a lot of people will act like men are solely guilty for this because of the fact of the matter that there were many old men who helped to overturn Roe versus Wade. Oh, you men, you're all just so guilty because you have a penis. Tee-hee-hee. That's kind of sexism, isn't it? That is what we want to avoid, because all that really does is continue the cycle of hate / discrimination, never solving anything, making us more divided and blinded, which is exactly what the system wants. That's what we want to avoid, because that's not really going to help solve anything. All it's going to do is continue the cycle of hate / discrimination, which in turn is just going to make people hate each other more and be blinded to all the bullshit that's going on, because they're so focused on their hatred for one another that they don't see the stuff that's right in front of them because they have those rose-tinted glasses on. Which, in turn, is exactly what the system wants, because then they can get away with more shit by using the things that are making people hate each other to their advantage and pushing it So that way people continue to be distracted. Now, either way, a lot of this hate's going to continue to go on, despite the fact that there were actually women involved in the decision for overturning Roe versus Wade. Now, there were 3 female Supreme Court justices that were involved in this whole case. 2 of them which were against it, and 1 of them which was for overturning Roe versus Wade. This is also in addition to 1 man who was not really for overturning Roe versus Wade, but he was more okay if, we had some restrictions with abortion. In other words, he was pro-abortion, but he wanted a couple of restrictions. Those 3 women that were involved with the decision making for this case were Justice Elena Kagan, who was pro-abortion, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who also pro-abortion, and then the 3rd female was Justice Amy Coney Barrett, who's also female, and she was against the whole Roe versus Wade decision, or anti-abortion. Now, of the men, the 2 that were apparently involved, I made a mistake and forgot about the other one, who were pro-abortion were Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Stephen Breyer. Now, realistically speaking, a lot of people are like, oh, it's all these shitty, greedy old men that are doing, or all these shitty men that, want to control us and made it so where we can't get abortions now. No, it's technically actually not just them. It's also older women too. There are women out there that are pretty anti-abortion as well too. So we can't just solely blame men as the problem, because again, that's sexism, that's stereotyping. Stereotyping doesn't do nothing but promote the cycle of hate and continue it to where it's just gonna keep going until we stop it in its tracks and learn to love each other instead of hating so much, which is exactly, again, what the system wants. While I myself am very pro-choice with this matter, there are people out there, however, who have very deeply held values on sentient life. They care so much for it that is the reason why they're anti-abortion, is simply because they don't want to kill a baby. They love sentient life so much and care for it that much, they just want to protect it. I will admit, though, that a lot of people are blinded by that, despite the facts that are out there. As much as you might not like to admit it, they are still human and they do have their opinions. Not all of them are out there to simply just try to control women. Some of them just really deeply value sentient life, and they simply are anti-abortion because of that. These people have their opinions still. Even if you do think that they are stupid, hating them isn't going to solve anything, and it's just simply a waste of your energy and time when you could be doing something way more productive with it instead. Isn't it kind of funny that whenever we have the lowest trust in politicians, institutions that we're a part of, and lowest voter turnout, when people are questioning the very systems that they are a part of, we magically have all these very intense and fiery topics being pushed all in the mainstream media. Very, very touchy subjects, or very intensely debated ones over a long period of time. Confusing, blinding everyone from questioning the injustices and the bullshit that's going on. Almost like a smokescreen, right? I'm not saying that it is per se in this instance, but it's kind of easy to see how that could be used in this way, right? A lot of people won't mention this. A lot of presidents that have been in office, people like Joe Biden, George W. Bush, were all completely on different sides of abortion than when they got elected into office. Like right before they got into office, they switched it up and they magically, started supporting it. It's kind of like they might have done that so they could get more votes. Since the U.S. Supreme Court's Roe versus Wade decision legalized abortion nationwide in 1973, the issue has become one of the defining fault lines in U.S. politics, with Democratic politicians firmly supporting abortion rights and Republican lawmakers lining up in opposition. In 1973, the lines were more blurred. Republican and Democratic voters were equally likely to say abortion should be legal. Wow, shocker there. was a little bit less heated back then. While it was easy to find Republican officials who supported abortion rights and Democrats who opposed the procedure. Wow. It's amazing that you had Democrats who were against the whole procedure of abortion and Republicans who were actually for it. Wow. I never thought that would have existed based on what the mainstream tells us nowadays. In 1983, Senate vote, 34 Republicans and 15 Democrats voted for a proposed constitutional amendment that would have overturned the Roe decision, while 19 Republicans and 31 Democrats voted against it. Biden was amongst those voting no, even though he had backed the legislation in committee the previous year. Oh wow, shocker there. Huh, Joe Biden actually opposed something like that? Wow. So between the years 1973 to 1983, it would seem that a lot of these people within the court system tend to have the same consensus or a very mutual sort of opinion on the whole topic. In the years that followed, the dividing lines became more apparent as political candidates found it increasingly necessary to align with activists who were becoming more influential within their parties. Wow, so it's kind of almost like they did it so they could, have more favor. Republican George H.W. Bush, an abortion opponent who had earlier supported abortion rights, won the presidency in 1988. In 1992, he was defeated by Democrat Bill Clinton, an abortion rights supporter who had earlier opposed abortion. Oh wow, so these people just miraculously changed their deeply held beliefs on this very topic right before they happen to come into office? Kind of seems like a political stunt to, gain more votes, doesn't it? That really should come as no surprise given the fact of the matter that it's been proven over the years that politicians will do that. Career politicians lie and say that they're gonna do things and they never end up fucking doing it. The particular politicians that we had mentioned who became presidents have been proven that they have lied and been corrupt. Yet people will still vote for them, however, though, because they are the quote-unquote lesser of two evils. Kind of fucked up, isn't it? It's been one fucking intense topic after the other being pushed with mainstream media. From COVID vaccinations and minorities being shot to monkeypox, intense celebrity abuse trials, and massive school shootings. Now it's on Roe versus Wade being overturned. Wow, that's a lot of intense stuff, isn't it? Pretty hard for most people to question corruption and issues going on with the systems that they're in when they're constantly bombarded with very intense, sensitive problems going on in the world. Unless you're a pretty calm, level-headed human being who can rationalize very, very well without letting emotions get in the way. So wow, that would actually make it a lot more easier for people to get taken advantage of, because when people are really caught up in their emotions, it's a lot easier to sit there and manipulate them and coerce them and guide them in a certain direction. Again, I'm not very happy that this national overturn happened. However, we can't sit here and hate all men or conservatives. It's not going to do anything. It's not just all of their faults. It's not my whole sex's fault, and it's not all of conservatives' faults for it. There are good people in between both of those categories of people. It's not logical just to blindly fucking hate people because they share something like a physical trait or a alignment with a political party. It's not really going to do anything good except polarize us even more and make us more divided, which is the last thing we need right now. More than we already are. Oh wait, it's kind of like that's already happening, isn't it? Making us even more distracted, blind, and confused. Now, I'm not saying that this is the sole reason why the overturning of Roe versus Wade happened. However, I feel like it's pretty obvious to see after talking about this, how one could take advantage of all this panic and anger that has been caused by this while people are blinded and confused about what's going on. Because of this, less people are likely to question big companies, the government or the system, economics, and many other things that aren't really that good. While we might be pretty scared, angry, frustrated, etc., we can't be blinded by those emotions. A lot of people around us that support abortions and are like me, male, or don't support it, that are around us, aren't evil people. They're just people. We can't expect much good change to happen if we're just at each other's throats all the time. Instead, we need to focus on good, compromising solutions to better advance society for the better collective future of the next generations and our civilization. Alrighty, so that's gonna be it for us today, my dudes. If you guys did enjoy, as usual, please don't forget to, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Really does mean a lot to me when you do this and helps show me all you're enjoying that I'm putting out there for you. Again, spread love, not hate, my dudes. I appreciate you all very much. And thank you to all 92 badass motherfuckers of this tribe. It means a lot to me that you guys are here with me. If you did make it to the end of this video, go ahead and leave the word change down in the comment section below to let me know that you guys made it to the end and are part of the 100% club. Now, if you want more of an interactive experience, feel free to join us on stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Central Time. We make memes about all this fucking goofy ass shit going on, or just about life in general, and just chill, vibe, and have a good time, man. I'd love to see more of you guys chatting it up in there. Until next time, though, my dudes, please don't forget to live long, prosper, take care and peace, and keep it 1,000,000% real. I'll see you guys on the flip side.